This video will demonstrate how to use the stop sight distance tool. As a prerequisite, you will be required a line as your vehicle path, and it needs to be draped to the data. Once you have that line, you can select it and hit process all after you set up all your settings, and it'll process all the tools. So as we can see, it's stepping through every 25 feet, and then it's positioning the observer point at 3.5 foot offset from ground, and then a 2 foot offset from ground for the target. The minimum required points is going to be the minimum amount of points required in the sample in order to consider the sample an obstruction. So if your data is a lot noisier, you might want to increase that value, but generally you want to keep that value low enough for it to consider big obstruction objects like barriers or ground, and ignore stuff like floating points, etc. For these standards, we have the FDOT standard, which has the specific speeds of the FDOT standard, and it's calculating the stop sight distance based on the grade of the road and the formula pulled from that standard. If you have a different standard, you can use a user-defined one and add the grade values here and the stop sight distance that correspond between it. And if the grade of the road, it's a value in between those, the grade that you have specified, we'll do a linear interpolation and get the value from that. So in this case, I'd use the FDOT. And then for the plot options here, you have the option to plot the observer and then plot the observer information as well, which is the station, the grade, stop sight distance, and whether the result failed or passed. All right, so in the check results tab here, you have your current results. So in this case, it went through 25 results along that path, and it's going to show you this red line demonstrating the line of sight from the observer point to the target point, and it's going to show you an obstruction point right there where it collided. So you can use the next and previous buttons to kind of just iterate through your results, and if it's an obstruction, you can load the imagery. So let me just hide the point cloud real quick. If there was an obstruction, you can also load the imagery here in the other tabs, enable that to kind of just get a better view of what's happening, right? Let's say if you want to also calculate the maximum stop sight distance from this point, you can use this toggle here to step back and recalculate until you reach that desired point. So you can either just click this button, and you can see this dashed line simulating what that value would be calculated. So you can keep just stepping through, or you can just input a value, let's say 750, kind of reduce that margin. You can see there how it updates, and just keep marching back until there is no obstruction. So this could go back maybe 600. There you go. And if you want to accept this value, add it to the report, you can click this check. It's going to add it. It's going to plot a label for like the modified stop sight distance. And that's going to be linked to your original stop sight distance value that was calculated, right? Also, you have the ability to update your results. So let's say there is this line of sight went across like a car or something that you know it's a noise. You can come in here and fence that region out, crop all of that data that it's noise. This case is not noise, but I'll just simulate that, and you can crop that information out, and then you can hit the update results, and that will update that result. You might be seeing some underlying data. This is data that was beneath. Remember, we're doing a cylinder from the observer to the target. So it's a small cylinder based on this radius right here, which is why you might be seeing data from the background. That is not necessarily the data that we cropped. So once you update that result, you can that will be reflected also in the report. So once you Once you QQC all of your results, it's going to hit export report, and that's going to create an Excel report with all the stations, as well as the road grade used, the stop side distance used for that road grade that was calculated. And if you did any modified stop side distance, we'll add it there along with that column from that specific station. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you have any other questions, you can always contact us, and I'll be happy to give you a demo on how to use it.